said, "Oh my God, if we would have known that, we would have all been better off." My first front of the house job at the age of 19 was at the hotel in the remote valley Ötztal, Austria. I was happy to be earning my own money and to have time to mountain bike on my days off. It wasn't until my third job at a high-end resort where I worked breakfast, lunch, and dinner that the idea of a career in wine really clicked for me. There was a Swiss couple who were really so enthusiastic about food and wine. They would talk about what they would eat for dinner while still at the breakfast table. I'd never seen anything like it. One day they asked me what they should drink with their meal. I had no idea. So I bought some books on wine and read as much as I could between the services. I could have bullshitted them, but I was curious what sparked their passion. It turns out it sparked a passion in me, too. I couldn't believe how much there was to know about wine. The regions and kind of grapes seemed infinite. There was an artistry behind winemaking, and so much history too. All my colleagues wanted to hang out during break, but I was like, no. I have to go to finish this book before dinner. Around this time, my dad, who would have had a glass of wine or two from Austria or Italy on the weekends, took me with him to buy wine. I researched like crazy and used the money I'd saved to buy a bottle of 1983 Darmaci by Angelo Gaia. It was a hell of a lot of money, about $400 in today's dollars. But that's all I wanted in the world. I was under the spell of a great wine. By the time I ended up at a 5-star resort in 1992, I was special ordering books and cross-referencing them. Although guests were ordering bottles for $20 to $50, I started reading more about the classic benchmark wines. Soon, during tastings, I began looking for tannins, looking for alcohol, looking for fruit from every sip. Then I began going to tastings after work with people I befriended from other restaurants. Sometimes we drive an hour to the real glass factory to do their glassware tastings, marveling how the shape of their Burgundy glass amplified the fruit of that variety. I saved and bought multiple sets from the second quality shelf. When I was 20, I worked hard to get a job at the Hotel Arlberger Spitz, which had a legendary wine program. They were known for having one of the biggest wine cellars for large format wines, especially Bordeaux. 18-liter bottles of Chateau Margaux, 6-liter bottles of 1924 Chateau Palmer, that kind of thing. There I worked with my mentor Adi Werner and also befriended with the cellar master Helmut Jörg. I asked to join the tastings he did for clients. He let me as long as I would set them up and broke them down. I didn't miss a single one. I tasted not just in Austria and nearby northern Italy, but deep into France, America, and all over the world. I've always found foreign things more interesting. My friends couldn't believe I was spending all my free time doing this and wasn't even getting paid. But the deeper I got, the more fascinated I was. My father sent me to Florence for a summer to learn Italian, the idea being that sommeliers should speak at least one foreign language. I also assigned myself the task of drinking wines from every village in Chianti. For the first time, I was able to taste the differences in terroir, the actual soil in which the grapes had been planted, and by August, I could tell you blindfolded which village the wine came from. 5 years after that summer in Italy, I started studying for my sommelier's diploma, a rigorous 2-year process. The second year, a new professor named Norbert Waldnick came in and shook things up. It turns out he was the Austrian candidate for the best sommelier in the world competition, and when he asked for volunteers to be tour guides during the event in Vienna, my hand shot up. There I was electrified by the atmosphere, the tension, the pure intimidation, as each candidate was grilled for an hour or two in front of a huge audience, TV cameras, and all. After I had finished my certificate a year later, in 1999, the professor said he wanted me to be the Austrian candidate for next year's national championship. No way.